This live is about building an AI application in public. It is day 11 out of 30. I'm going from an idea to launching and hopefully generating some revenue by the end of 30 days. Each day I can only build for 1 hour. So it's going to be a 30-hour project going from absolutely nothing to, I hope, the first dollar sale by the end of the 30 days. And the whole purpose of this project is to show that this is doable. This is something that you can do even if you don't know how to code, even if you have never done anything like this before. It is something that can be achieved, and I'm walking through it, showing you how I'm doing it. You can follow along and hopefully build it yourself as well. If you are building, then reach out to me on one of the lives or send me a DM or a comment on YouTube, whatever's easiest. And I'd like to give your project a shout out, maybe bring it up on the stream, show people what it is, and hopefully get you some traffic as well. So where are we? It is day 11, 12. It is day 12. I've definitely mistitled the YouTube video, so sorry about that, editor. I will change it later. It is day 12 out of 30. Yesterday we started to put together a tutorial, so helping new users to onboard onto the application, and for the first time when they're using it, they're shown a quick tour showing them what to do, where to go. It spiraled out of control, I'll put it that way. It wasn't a very good or progressive day. Didn't get much done in yesterday's stream. What I've actually done is very quickly, and this is much simpler, I took a step back. I took a deep breath and looked at doing it in a much simpler way so we can just push forward. And I did this off stream. It didn't take me very long, so I didn't cheat that much. But the basic idea is that I will have a how to get started kind of accordion. You can see this opens and closes, which appears on the dashboard once they get into the application for the first time. And they can also click got it, don't show it again, and that will get rid of it totally. But it basically has all the steps. So scroll to form, where they can fill out information about their business detail, add a YouTube video, they can use the generator there, choose your lead magnet type, download and use. So it's a very basic tutorial without having to take them interactively through the tool, because that was causing some issues. Maybe that's something we can add back in later. For now, we just need momentum. We need to keep moving. I don't want to spend the next 5 days trying to build an onboarding system, so I've just put this in place. That is fine, and that folds up, or it can be got rid of entirely. Much simpler, much faster. I've also kind of added a bit more to the dashboard to make it more functional here. So the business details you can enter here. You can generate the lead magnets directly from the dashboard. I've added a little navigation kind of, I don't know what you call it, scrolling action wheel here, so you can go between the different sections, and then the history here. Now you might notice, if you are you can definitely see it on, no, you can see it on both. This is looking a bit squashed up. So the reason for this is I started to make it responsive. So I noticed that everything looked a mess, an absolute mess on the phone, and that we had to make it so that when it was on a phone screen, the navigation menu changed. So now instead we have this kind of burger menu, we call it. See, it's got the 3 lines. It's called a burger menu. So this allows me to have a more responsive, mobile friendly interface. However, when it's on desktop, can you see it? It doesn't know how to adjust as I adjust my screen like this. So when it's full screen like that, or wide, that looks fine. That's not a problem. But as we start to scroll it in, it gets all squished up at the top and things start to overlay. So that's something we need to fix. It's not crucial. It's not going to kill us, but it's something that we need to focus on. Ideally, we want this to first and foremost look good on a mobile phone. The reason is most people access sites, most people access web pages on a telephone, and when I send this out to beta testers, they'll probably be using it on their telephone for the first time. Is the telephone the best place to be generating lead magnets? No, not really, but I have to assume people are going to be coming and using it on a mobile device first and foremost, so it has to look good on a mobile. So we call this responsive design. Responsive basically means it responds to the shape and size of the screen, because everyone has different size screens. Like a Samsung whatever Pixel, no, they don't make Pixel, a Google Pixel, whatever it is very different to an iPhone 14, which is different to an iPhone 17 Pro, which is different to a desktop or a laptop. So they all have different shapes and sizes, and we need to think about how we design our web pages and our applications so that they fit on all of those different screens, and that's called responsive design. So what I'm going to do for now is just to tidy it up. I just want this tidied at the top. So I'm going to come over to Lovable and say, thank you for making the top menu responsive for mobile. We also need to change it so that it is responsive to the width of a browser screen on desktop. So at the moment it is not responding well, and it is overlapping items when the browser screen is not fully extended to the width of the browser, the width of the screen. So we just need to adjust it so there's better responsiveness on desktop, specifically for browser expanding and contraction. I don't know the name of it, but hopefully you do, Lovable. Thank you. I pressed the wrong button, so that's not going to go through. Thankfully, that was a garbled instruction anyway. What do you call it? Making it small, bigger and smaller. Browser, not browser scaling. Okay. Hey, Lovable, thank you. The menu is now responsive for mobile devices. Thank you for adding the burger item. The burger menu item, that works fine. However, on desktop, specifically in the Chrome browser, but generally on desktop, the navigation menu at the top now looks there are overlapping items when the browser screen is contracted. So if it is not full screen, then the items tend to overlap. So we just need to add some additional responsiveness to desktop, the desktop navigation top bar. Hopefully that's enough. It's not very clear because I don't know the language for it. I could go ahead and have that discussion with Claude, work out exactly what the language is. It's probably going to tell me now. This is where developing and practicing and knowing about code is useful, because it gives you a better vocabulary for being able to talk to the AI. So you notice that I struggled there because I just don't know what that's called. If I knew the term, I'd be able to give a much clearer instruction to the artificial intelligence. So the navigation overlapping issue, responsive breakpoints for medium-sized screens. Okay, there we go. So what's happening is when it's a large screen like this, when it's full size, no problem. When it's smaller, it is having issues. So it's going to adjust it for kind of in between a telephone and a full size desktop. So it's gone ahead and done that. Let's have a look what that looks like. Quickly check for any questions. Hello everybody. No questions. We don't normally get many questions on TikTok for this live, which is fine. That's what the other live is for. So let's reload this. Well, that definitely hasn't worked, but let's check again. Nope. So it breaks around there, and then when I go to there, that's fine for mobile. So is that medium-sized screen? Okay. Still not quite right. This is primarily as I change the size of my browser. Scaling it up and down. This is not an important issue though, so if I can't fix it now, I will just move on and I will worry about that later. Also, it's not the ideal thing to do on stream, because every time I resize that browser, it's messing up what my my YouTube stream looks like, which is not helpful. Okay, I'll fix the browser resizing issues by improving the responsive breakpoint management and adding better flex controls. It's probably flex. That's the terminology I'm looking for. I'm flexing the size of the browser, making it smaller and larger, because the breakpoints are specifically for different kind of like different resolutions of screens. This instead is about flexing the browser. So I think we've honed in on it, but we will see. Okay. And then after that, what are we doing? We're kind of ready for the beta launch. I really want to add more features, but I know I shouldn't. Maybe I'll have a discussion about it, because what would make this a killer application is if I can host people's landing pages. That would make it an absolutely killer application, and I can charge a lot more for it, but that's probably something to add later. Okay, so it's a bit better, but it's not good. That's fine. This is not an important issue. So you can see when I go small like that, it turns into basically a mobile interface. It will be even smaller than that, and it will have a burger menu. That's fine. When I'm wide like this, that is fine. It has all my menu items on the right hand side, navigation menu. But when I'm kind of in the middle, it squeezes them up. This is better than it was, but there's still a too narrow a gap here. I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. It's not that important. It's just slightly annoying because that is the size of the screen that I use when I'm on my doing the live. So I'll just go to that size. There we go. That's fine. So at least I won't be annoyed. So that is fine. We have a basic onboarding flow. We have the ability to generate ideas here. This will works in the same way, and then we can save the lead magnets into here. So that's fine. We can definitely work on the UI, but we can do that later. I know it's stupid, but what time is it? I've got loads of time, so I'm gonna talk to Lovable about this. Just because this will make it really, really good. I know what I'm doing is a bad idea and that I am overcomplicating this. My light keeps flaring. That's very weird. Let's have a discussion with it though. Okay, Lovable. So the project as it stands allows somebody to create lead magnets off the back of their YouTube videos. That's awesome. We've got the basic functionality in place. What would be really, really cool is if they can also generate a basic landing page which tells people, tells visitors what the lead magnet is and pushes them towards downloading it. So this would mean we create a landing page generator which would sit next to the generated lead magnet. So in the history, would have the list of generated lead magnets, and as well as the view lead magnet, we would have an additional button which would be generate landing page. Now this is going to cost extra credits, let's say 10 credits per additional generation of the landing page. But what we need to do is we need to spin that lead magnet into an attractive landing page where people are going to want to, the visitors will land, give an email address and be sent access to that lead magnet. The complication here obviously is that my customers, the people who are using this tool, will have to hook in their email sender in some way, because I do not want to be responsible for sending out those emails because it's too open to abuse, and if I have my email service shut down, then that will harm all the other users. So help me think through how we could do this in terms of rollout, what the options are for, one, generating the page, but two, capturing that email address and providing that email address to my customer to add to their email list in a secure way. Is that just having the emails in their dashboard? That seems too risky. Is it a Zapier connection to their email client, in which case how do we add Zapier integrations, or is it a way for them to connect directly their drip or their kit or their whatever software in the back end? Let's just have that discussion first. This seems too complicated, but I want to see if there's a simple way that maybe I'm missing. Okay, so I'm doing this in chat because I don't want it to rush ahead. It's a great feature idea, yes. So the reason and I was thinking about this all of yesterday, the reason I would add this is suddenly this becomes an all-in-one, well, a tool that people would pay a lot more for. At the moment, it will create lead magnets, that's fine. But they then need to kind of copy and paste those lead magnets out into their own sales page system or their own email system. And it's not, there are additional steps that my customers will have to take, which makes it a bit annoying. But if they could generate a landing page directly in my tool, but then there's a question of where is that lead magnet hosted? Sorry, where is that web page hosted? I think it gets too complicated. So create landing page table, store content. Yeah, that's fine. So generating a landing page is not a problem. Email capture solutions, multiple options. So simple dashboard collection, store collected emails in the landing page leads table. So yeah, they would end up with a pro simple secure. Is it secure? Cons manual process for users. So that would be the simplest one, which is, so my users, my customers will create lead magnets. They will then create a landing page, and that landing page will have a basic email form on it. That email form will save the email addresses of the people who wanted that lead magnet in their user dashboard, in my customer's dashboard. It says it's secure. I don't know if that's true. Zapier integration. User provides Zapier webhook. Each email capture triggers webhook to their email service. Cons. So automated supports most email services. So I think that's probably the way. Direct API is too complex because I'll need to set up connections with all of the main mail services. I'm not doing that yet. Landing page features. So I think what it might be is simple dashboard collection for now, and then Zapier integration. And Zapier integration is probably on a higher paid plan as well. So they can get the emails and they can move them over to their CRM, no problem, but that's going to be a manual process for them. But then there'll be at a higher level the ability to connect in your Zapier integration. So that works. Landing page features, that's fine, that's fine. So I think no email. Yeah, I don't want to handle email delivery. That's the main thing. That will kill me. Right, so I actually want to go with approach A for now, and then add a Zapier integration coming soon, like underneath somewhere, so we can show that that's something that we're working on, because I think that would be a really cool thing to do later. But for now, let's go ahead and push ahead with this with a simple dashboard collection, and it needs to only be visible in their user interface, obviously. So it's going to be attached to their user account. So once they create an account, it needs to be very secure. And the emails, they should have their own section on the dashboard, which is where it lives, kind of leads generated. And we need to assign to each lead which video it came from, which lead magnet it came from, etc., etc. So we need to have kind of tracking so they know where it's come from, but all the emails go into one place. And yes, there'll be a CSV export that has all of that. There's another outstanding question though. Where is that landing page going to live? How will they, who's going to be hosting that landing page? Because if it's done through me, would I give them subdomains off my primary domain, which I haven't set up yet, or is there a way for them to host it? Yeah, we need to work out where it's going to be hosted. Initially, for the testing at least, we can do it on my domain, but they're going to, as customers, want to have their own domain or some kind of nice looking interface. So nice looking URL rather than whatever my YouTube leadspark.lovable.app is at the moment. So we need to have a think about that as well. Where will the individual users' landing pages be hosted? It's probably too complex, but it's worth having the discussion. It also requires me to work out what I'm calling this and to buy the domain address, because I haven't thought about that yet. Okay, so initially it will be, I can host it on mine, no additional hosting costs, use a superstructure, so I can do it through my hosting, that's fine, or my Superbase. Subdomain system future enhancements, so I can create subdomains. So I would buy Lead Magnet Pro, for example, and then they would get subdomains. Okay, so this is saying, and this is probably the way, we start with I'm hosting them, and they're going to be on my Superbase host. So it would be whatever my domain is slash page one. Like we're actually, God, this is complex. I also do not want to be sending those emails. Okay, so that looks fine, the core landing page system. Initially we would do it with, as you say, the Superbase hosting, then we'll add the ability for them to add subdomains. That's further down the line. However, I do not want to be delivering the lead magnets via my own email server. That is too risky. What I'd like to do is every landing page has a thank you page, and the thank you page is the lead magnet. So that allows the user to get access to the landing to the lead magnet on the landing page, and it would be a downloadable version. Plus, it would display fully on the page, so they get their lead magnet is not sent via email. I think that's the way to do it for now. So the hosting will be on my Superbase, and it will be a page ID. One important thing here, I haven't decided on my final domain yet, so we need to make sure that when I do add a domain, all of these landing pages still work. So that's one thing we need to keep in mind. And second thing is, I'm not going to be sending emails out because, at least initially, that's too risky. So we will use the thank you page to deliver the lead magnet, and then the customer, my customer, will be able to get the emails that have been submitted via their dashboard. Okay, I think that's okay. Does that make sense? Can you ask questions and punch holes in the plan before we begin? Okay, we're doing a slightly silly thing pushing this forward, but why not? Okay, so I need to recap this for myself more than anyone else. What I want to do is add the ability for each lead magnet to have its own landing page. A landing page will basically will give my customers, the YouTube creators, the ability to throw up a quick page where that lead magnet can be downloaded. initially, at least, that's going to be a sub page on my project. So it would be my domain / lead magnet / name of the lead magnet, whatever it is. And initially, the customers will need to download the email addresses using a CSV. I would then add a Zapier connection later. That's a bit further down the line. And at first, the lead magnet will be delivered in a thank you page. It will not be emailed because I don't want to take on the email kind of liability here. It's too risky. But later, they'll be able to set it up so that their lead magnet is delivered via their email system. I think that's the only way to do it. The approach is much safer and simpler. Clarifying questions. Okay, you currently have. Right. Oh shit. This is a complication. So the quiz, we don't want to give them the quiz in that format, because the quiz format is, this is how you make a lovable quiz. I'm making this much harder than it needs to be. Good questions. All right. For now, I want them to be able to generate landing pages for the checklist and the PDF guide, not for the quiz. The quiz, in fact, should have a button which directs them to Lovable. So instead of a create landing page button, it should have or the quiz lead magnet should have a build your quiz, and that directs to lovable.dev. So we'll send them over there to do that themselves. For the thank you page, coming to that question, the checklist should be an interactive web page and downloadable PDF text, much like the current created page. So currently, when my customer, the user on this site, creates a lead magnet, a checklist lead magnet, that's what they see. They see that interactive web page and downloadable form. So we basically want to deliver that, but to the final end user, who's the person who has given in their email address. And then the same with the PDF guide. We want the nicely formatted version with the download button as well. And then the quiz, we do not have a thank you page. We do not have a landing page. Instead, the button goes to a build with Lovable. Domain migration, we should use relative URLs. Great, to do that, please. When you change domains, will you want to redirect all the landing page URLs? That's a really good point. So I will buy a domain before we go live to the public, is the answer to that. Lead magnet access security. Should the thank you page be accessible only once per email subscription, or can anyone with the URL access it? Ideally only once per email submission, but you must not put the email inside of the URL because that will leak. That's going to leak leak emails. So you need to be very secure there. And yeah, add some light protection against direct URL access without email submission. Don't worry too much about re-access. That is a lower priority, because the main thing is the email has been collected, they've been given the lead magnet, they're shown it on the thank you page, and that's kind of the job done. So don't worry too much about the end user being able to re-access it. We don't need to create a whole membership system or access system. We just need to deliver that in a thank you page and protect that URL using light protection, but we don't need the user to be able to come back multiple times and get that URL. That's less important. Landing page templates. One template to start with, thank you, nice and simple. And then clean conversion focused design is fine. Analytics and tracking, do you want to track unique? Yeah, I mean, can you? If you can add that, fantastic. Yes, add that, go for it. SEO and indexing, landing page to be publicly accessible. Do we want meta tags? No, you can index, you can allow indexing, although I don't think that's a problem because Lovable builds with client-side rendering, so SEO is not going to be very good anyway. Large lead magnets might need optimization. Yep, go ahead and do that. Ensure thank you page. Yes, mobile first for everything, please. Mobile first design for the landing pages and thank you pages. Credit systems, 10 pages, that's fine. Sorry, 10 credits for the landing page seems good. Should the users be able to create multiple landing pages for the same lead magnet? Oh, that's a really good question. No, because that's going to mess up our... That's going to create duplication and problems in the backend. So no, one landing page per lead magnet. Later we'll add the ability for them to edit it. Right now that is not important. Lead deduplication, if the same email submits multiple times, reject it if you can, but this is a low priority. Yes, add basic email format validation. Yes, add rate limiting, and the CSV should have as much information as you can, please. Okay, yes, that sounds good. Right, this is a big push. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bookmark where we are right now before we do all this, so we can roll back. Because this is, I mean, I'm saving all of these changes anyway in GitHub, but I still want to add a quick bookmark on here. There we go. So I have bookmarked this particular section on Lovable, so it's going to be easier to roll back, and that's visible in here, the history. Okay, that sounds good. Go step by step, allowing me to check as we go ahead. Right, oops, that's still in chat mode, idiot. I'm actually going to stop that. Take that out. Okay, and now this, we're going to actually go ahead and push ahead. Couple of medium complexity options. Yeah, form submissions to their CRM using just a standard web snip, or an OAuth2 flow to Google Apps. Yeah, I'm going to keep it really simple for now. I will want to connect up to their CRMs later. I will initially do it, so we're just collecting the email addresses and it's downloadable via CSV for the beta test. And then we will do a Zapier integration so they can send emails directly to their tool. So we'll do that via a Zapier webhook. And then ideally add in some actual links to CRM systems. That comes later though, because that's a little way away. Hello Aurora, how are you? I just saw you come on. So I'm already pushing the levels of complexity here. Which I shouldn't be doing. I know this is naughty, but it was something that was bothering me yesterday. Because I know I was basically thinking about my audience, and once I release this, people will be able to create lead magnets, that's fine, but then a lot of them won't necessarily know what to do with them. And then the next question is, well, cool, I have these lead magnets, how can a user access them, how can they download them? And they don't necessarily know how to set up landing pages, they don't necessarily know how to set up email collection. So I could say to them, oh, well, go and get a Beehive account and you can set up a landing page, you can collect emails, but it's too many steps. So I think I need this in the core functionality. Cool, good start. That's what we like to see. Return statement is not allowed here. Get word from transcriptor. Okay, it's trying to fix it automatically. It's a Vite issue by the looks of it. Ooh, what are we? Got 25 minutes. Okay. And I'm doing all my streams early because I need to get to the gym from midday, which is only an hour away. Should be fine. I just need to move fast. What's going on? Was this too ambitious? I also need to try out the new codex model. So GPT-5 has a new version called GPT-5 Codex, which is an agentic coding artificial intelligence. Came out yesterday. I haven't had a chance to try it yet. It's meant to be very good. That is the first impression I'm seeing from a lot of people, is that it is a good model. The main thing about it, which is really cool, is that it will flex its work and its effort depending on the complexity of the task. So if I gave it a quick task like, hey, can you change this header, it's not going to go on this long deep delve into the best ways to format headers and think through the process. It would just go ahead and do it. Whereas if I said, hey, I need you to refactor my code base, it's going to take a long time. It's going to build a strategy. It's going to work out the best ways to do that. At the moment, lots of our AI models will kind of treat all problems with the same level of severity, and that equally important. So they will overblow the preparation and the work for a really simple task instead of just doing it quickly and saying, yep, I'm done. Or they will underestimate the amount of work and effort required for a much larger task. So the new Codex model apparently is very good at this, and it will flex to the level of the actual task and how much effort is required. I'm interested to see if that works. If it does, then that's really exciting for non-coding models as well, because I'm sure if you've used AI enough, you know sometimes it will, well, generally it will give you the same length answer or the same amount of work, regardless of what you ask. And it'd be nice if you asked a quick question, it's just like, yep, here's the answer, bam, and that's it. And if you ask something complex, then it gives you a much longer, more detailed answer. Now, where are we? We have an error that we're trying to fix automatically, which is not working, which is not excited about that. Is it actually doing anything? Oh, there we go. The other block I have is the fact that I focused on YouTube videos, because to use this with the YouTube API, you can only do it on your own videos. That's just a limitation of the API, which means this can only be tested by people who have YouTube channels. So that immediately reduces my beta testing pool, annoyingly. So phase 1 complete. Database schema created with landing page and landing page leads table, RLS policies and credit calculation system for 10 credit landing page. Okay, so the schema includes landing page content. So let's go ahead and publish and have a look at that. Email capture with secure access tokens, analytics tracking, and 1 landing page per lead magnet constraint, mobile ready. So we're going to have a look at that and see what that looks like. Probably need to sign back in because I haven't signed in for a while. Okay, so whoops, that is my admin dashboard. That's not what I need. It's a dashboard. So ideally, okay, I don't see it. Do I need to generate a new lead magnet? I think I might need to generate a new lead magnet, so I'm going to go ahead and do one for a shorter video, 8 minutes. This one's fine. Shareable link. Grab it in, generate. Hope the generator's working. I haven't tested it today. I don't think I've broken it recently. Okay. So AI is killing entry-level jobs. Creates me. Oh, I'm getting a bit of a. That's not correct, but we'll fix that later. So I'm going to go ahead and create this checklist. That'll cost me 5 credits. That will take me from 99 down to 94. Creating your lead magnet. And then I'm going to go back to the dashboard. Once this is done. Okay, so it's created a checklist. That's fine. So that's what the lead magnet will look like. Now let's go back to the ideas, the dashboard. So it should. Well, I don't see it. So this should now have a button here which says make create landing page, but I do not see it. So landing page content. Okay, got a security error. Let's deal with that first. Customer email addresses could be stolen by hackers. Well, yes, that's a big one. This was my concern about it keeping email addresses, honestly. Because with Zapier, we can immediately get them off our server. So they don't even touch our server. They'll come in, be submitted, be picked up, pinged away by Zapier into the customer's CRM system. But it adds another layer of complexity. And even then, we'd probably still want a record of the emails that have been collected on our site. It's just we need to make sure they're secure, obviously. So this is a new tool they've added into Lovable, which flags up potential security issues, which is cool. There is also a version inside Supabase. So if you're hosting on Supabase, Supabase can flag up security issues. Obviously, it's not going to be 100% watertight, but it's a good first line of defense. Before we do any launching, especially before we start charging money, we will get this checked out and make sure it is secure. And there's a couple of ways we can do that. I will probably hire somebody to do it, especially if we get any interest in this and it starts to actually take off. I'll just hire somebody, pay them a few thousand to make sure it's not leaking. But importantly, I don't do that yet until we've made sure that there is some kind of demand, that people think, oh, this is a cool idea, and actually want to bother with it. Mm, 41 minutes. I do need to finish on time today because I've got to get to boxing. I've been trying to so I don't live far from my boxing gym. It's only about 20 minutes, half an hour walk, but it'd be a lot easier if I had a bike. So I'm trying to get a little folding bike, because moving a normal size bike through my house is annoying. It's a London flat and it's got an annoying corridor. So I'm trying to get a folding bike, and I went to buy a Brompton bike. The folding bikes are not cheap. They're £2,500, so it's at $3,000+. I went to buy one on Saturday, and I wanted to do a test ride, so you needed to kind of give a credit card. That's absolutely fine. I couldn't find my PIN number, and because I hardly ever use my PIN number, and so I was looking for the PIN number on my telephone, doing the Face ID. It was going a bit slowly, and the shop assistant was kind of impatient. He was like tapping, and I just walked out. I was like, okay, don't worry about it, I'm leaving, because I'm about to drop £3,000 on a bike, and I have a shop assistant who is like annoyed that I'm there and I'm taking time. It's like, I don't need this. Like, I didn't expect white glove service. I didn't need him to like rub my shoulders or run me a bath or anything, but try not to be annoyed and impatient while I'm trying to give you a lot of money. So I just walked out. I said, I'll take the card, I'm leaving. So I don't have a bike yet, but it's amazing how a simple action from a shop person who's rude can just stop you from spending money. Like immediately, it's like, I'm not buying this bike anymore. Sorry. And so I've been looking at Chinese equivalents. There's one called the EDO bike. It looks really good, much cheaper, half the price. Okay, perfect. The security vulnerability has been fixed. Let me verify the customer email security issue is resolved. I'm still seeing it here, but we will deal with that. And then we have a couple of issues. One is that I can't actually see the generate lead magnet, generate landing page. So we need to fix that. And then we can test the functionality, and then we can move on to the next bit. But first, we're going to fix a security issue. And the reason why I'm taking some time to fix it now is we don't want to start building stuff on top of an unstable foundation and then have to dig back underneath it to fix it. So I'm just letting it do its thing. So it's apparently been fixed. It's now doing a scan again. If it succeeds, this should disappear. I met the guy who made this, actually. I was telling him how much I like the security scanner. It's a really good tool. It also appears up here in publish. So there we go, security scan. But do keep in mind, even if something doesn't pop up as a security problem, there can still be security problems. It's just this is a basic scan which has given us some kind of coverage, some kind of confidence that we have secured our application, but there are still ways in. There always are for malicious actors, so we might need to do additional security hardening, especially when we start to charge money later on. But that's fine, we can do that. Unfortunately, vibe-coded apps are also a bit of a target. This has happened, I haven't seen it for a while, but a few months ago I remember somebody posted that they'd vibe-coded an app and it was doing a certain amount of money and they're doing really well, and vibe-coding into the future, and software engineers are screwed and they're not going to have any jobs within a few months. And he was being a bit of an arse about it, and very quickly people hacked into his app and like immediately. So yeah, don't piss people off. If you're gonna vibe code, do it quietly. Still showing an issue, but with a different description. Okay, go ahead. I think generally it's a good idea not to tell people that their skill set is now useless. That is, you're not gonna be popular doing that. Yes, got a comment in YouTube. I will potentially be streaming TikTok via a PC as well. I'm looking to get a PC built, so I will finally TikTok be able to take you off this weird double camera thing that you see right now, which seems to be, I mean, it looks like a Game Boy Color photo mode or something like that. It's such terrible resolution, so it's hard for you guys to see on TikTok. Once I get a PC though, I will be able to stream the full desktop, the 4K, to TikTok as well. That is the idea. It's just a few stages I need to go through. For some reason TikTok does not have a Mac app, so you can't do it that way. Yeah, I might get a 590. A 590 is too expensive, so potentially a 580. On which, so I can stream, I can do AI models as well. So currently I've got a Mac Mini, which is fine. It's perfectly good for work. It's perfectly good for what I'm doing now, the 4K stream, but I can't really do anything serious on it. Security issue resolved. Customer email vulnerability has been successfully fixed. The security scan now only shows 2 system level warnings instead of a critical email theft error. That's good. Right. Oh, what's it doing now? That's fine. Before we move to phase 2, why am I typing? Okay, before we move to phase 2, I need to make sure phase 1 is working. Specifically, I need a button that allows me to generate landing pages that is currently not visible on the generated lead magnets. So I need that in play so I can test the functionality of the landing page generation before we move on to phase 2. Thank you. Okie dokie. So the reason we're going phase by phase is because if you just let a vibe coding tool do its thing, it will rush off. It will tell you at the end, yeah, I've done it, great, perfect, it worked really well. But there will be problems, there will be bugs, there will be things that don't work. But because you've allowed it to just do everything, the errors, the holes it's left will not be visible, or they'll be buried under different layers of functionality, and you need to dig back in and work out what's gone wrong. So what we're going to do is go step by step. We test it at each step, see if it's working. If it's working, we can move on to the next phase. And this is probably one of the largest issues. I would say it's not a problem with vibe coding, it's a human problem. It's the way that we prompt our artificial intelligences. We will say to it, I want you to build me, you know, Amazon, build me an Amazon clone, and the vibe coding tool will be like, yeah, sure, and it will rush off and try and do it. And it would be rubbish. The result will be rubbish. Instead, we need to say, okay, this is what I'm trying to build. Let's put together a plan. Let's work out what that's going to look like. Let's break it down stage by stage by stage. And then from there, you implement it stage by stage with the artificial intelligence, instead of expecting it to be able to one-shot a, you know, the next Uber or a new Airbnb. So I'll add a generate landing page. Okay, so it had done that. So let's go ahead and update. Okay, the security scan no longer has a critical warning. That's good. So we're going to update, and then we're going to have a look and see if we have a generate landing page button. We're still updating. I noticed this yesterday. The update process was taking a long time. I don't know if that's a lovable issue or a problem with my app. Okay, I've got a generate landing page button now. It's a bit ugly. It doesn't quite fit within the button, but let's see if the functionality works. No. So we're going to take that back. Let's see if there's any console errors. So I'll grab that. Okay, the button. Okay, the button is visible, but 404s. So it hasn't. So it's trying to take me to generate landing page, which is a page which apparently does not exist, and that gives us something called a 404 error, which is literally means that does not exist. There is no such page. So it says I'll create the missing route and page. The 404 error shows the route doesn't exist yet. So it should have. What have I pasted in here? God, it should have pasted that in. So it should have created that before. So let's go back to here. So what did it actually do in phase 1? Phase 1 complete. Oh. Okay. Nope. This is me being stupid. This is actually me being stupid. So I'm going to let this finish. What phase 1 was, and I didn't read this, so this is a human error, is creating the database schema. So it was creating what's needed in the backend in the database specifically to hold the information that was going to be created. So what I'm going to do. Okay, Loveball, I actually made a mistake. I did not read phase 1 correctly. I did not realize that phase 1 was only creating the database schema. So yes, we do need to create that. The generate landing page buttons, which you've done. Thank you. Yes, we do need to create the generate landing page, which it looks like you've done. But that was all part of phase 2. So I jumped ahead. That was my mistake. Can you continue with phase 2, taking into account that I jumped ahead and made you create the generate page and the button? So take those into account and flex your work for phase 2 with that in mind. Thanks. So it was entirely my fault. Boopster says, what platform are you using? This is Lovable. So Lovable is a vibe coding tool. I've got a little thing, there you go, spelt like that. A vibe coding tool. There's a bunch of them out there. Bolt, Lovable, Replete, Base 44, or if you want something a bit more advanced, Cursor. Cursor's a slightly different kettle of fish. But they allow you to use natural language to generate applications. So that's what I've been doing. This is day 12 or hour 12, 1 hour per day building an application from scratch and taking it to market within 30 days. That is the idea. And sometimes it goes really well, like today we're doing okay, and other days it does not, like yesterday where nothing really happened, but that is fine. But the name of the tool is Lovable. Lovable. It is unfortunately the name of a bra company as well, which I'm not sure if they checked before they. Let's see who turns up on Google now. Okay, they turn up. Oh, I feel bad for the bra company now. Or it's a Lovable. No, how's the bra company spelled? Okay, so the bra company has been knocked off Google by the vibe coding tool, which is a bit annoying for them, I'm sure. I've been using Cursor, but I tried Lovable once and loved it. I wanted to be more in the code though. Yep, 100%. So Lovable is for people who don't want to be in the code. You can actually get to it. It's here. So it is all visible. It's just hidden away a little bit. And it is better for people who don't want to see that stuff, who don't want to see, oh my God, what's all this going on behind? What is this? I don't know what this is. So it's a much higher level, more abstracted version. What you can do though, and what I normally do with my projects, I will start them here, get the basic functionality, get the basic UI and UX in play. I'll then use GitHub, which you can't see on TikTok, but it's just over here. I will push the whole project to GitHub, and then I will pull it down into Cursor, and you can continue working on it in Cursor and have more control, more power. So they are two tools at different ends of the market. Cursor is for people who know a little bit about code or a lot about code. Whereas Lovable is much better for people who just kind of want to dip their feet into it. What is happening though, and this is the really interesting part of vibe coding, is that the people who are getting good at vibe coding are starting to learn to code. They are realizing, oh, actually, I don't know why this has gone wrong, or I don't know how I can do this better. Maybe I'll dig into what's going on here. And they are, almost despite themselves, learning how to code and learning how to put together software, because you kind of have to at a certain point. But this is a much easier way to get into coding because you're building stuff. It's much more engaging than reading about, variables and lists and dictionaries and tuples, and then not understanding how all that abstract knowledge connects into creation. Whereas with vibe coding, you start creating, you run into problems, and then you're like, oh, okay, I need to learn a little bit about what's going on here. And you start to learn things like, oh, so what's this GitHub thing people have been talking about? Should I use that? What are libraries? What are frameworks? And you start to kind of work almost backwards into learning how to code by starting with vibe coding, which I think is really, really exciting, because it's much less dry than studying programming. You don't have to touch Java either. So I wonder if the next generation of coders will come through this route, or maybe some hybrid route where you're building using vibing, but also kind of backfilling the knowledge at the same time. Well, of course the build is unsuccessful because you need to wait for me to approve the database change. I need the OpenAI key for the AI generation. You already have that. It forgets this a lot, and I don't know why. And it's not just on this project. I've had this on other projects where it will say, oh, great, now I need your OpenAI key. And I'll say, you have it. You definitely have it. And it will not be able to find it. Okay. Boopster says building is the skill of the future, not coding. Yeah, so coding is a tool for building, and vibe coding, or using these kind of tools, is just another tool. It's another way to build, and it's making building a lot more accessible, which is exciting, really exciting, that anyone can just create software now without necessarily having to speak the language of software. You can use natural language and suddenly start to build things. Will it be production ready? Will it be scalable into $1 million business? No, not necessarily, but that doesn't matter because we can work up to that. Hell, we don't even need to. We can build our own little tools for our own pet projects as well. It's fun, it's great. And if people haven't tried Lovable or Bolt, I highly recommend just going and trying it. I think with Lovable, at least, let me check this. You don't think you even need to create a, you don't need to log in. You don't need to give any details. You can just go to the website, type something in, and it will start to build your application. And then if you do want to create an account, it's free, and you get 5 credits per day on the free account, which is not much, but it's enough for you to kind of kick the tires and try it out a bit. Oh, Globetrotter said, you described me. I'm actually into Python right now just because of vibe coding. Yeah, I'm seeing this again and again and again and again with people who are, they start vibe coding, they hit a wall, and they're like, oh, I need to learn a little bit about what's going on so I can get past this wall. And almost by mistake, you end up learning how to how to build software, which I think is amazing, because learning to code normally is very boring, and it's only for people with a certain mindset. Whereas vibe coding, you can build something, it's instantly useful. You kind of get the dopamine hit, you get the rush of, wow, I made something, this is really cool. And then as a side effect, you're also learning how to code, and you can work on that stuff, the knowledge in the background, which I think that's revolutionary. Perfect. I've successfully completed phase 2. Okay, we're not going to trust it. We never do. We're gonna give it a test. But I'm excited. I'm excited for you, Claude. Again, I know this is Claude because it always says like perfect or it's all done or great work. I've successfully completed phase 2 AI landing page generation with all the components working together. Okay, we're going to test that. Here's what I've implemented. So landing parts. I'm going to publish and update this while I'm reading this. Edge function uses OpenAI to create compelling copy. We're going to have to tweak that copy. I just want to get the functionality in place first, and then we'll tweak the prompt that creates the copy. Generates headlines, subheadlines, benefits, social proof, and CTAs. Social proof, don't want you just to make stuff up, but that is fine. We'll come back to that. Falls back to smart defaults if AI is unavailable. Okay, so just a template. Landing page creation. Enhance form with AI generation button. I don't know what that means, but okay, we'll have a look at that. Comprehensive customization options, management dashboard, blah, 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 public landing pages. Okay, all right, it's done a lot. So let's see if any of that actually exists and if it works. And we're running out of time because I need to go to boxing. Oh God, we really are. So I'm actually going to check this and then finish up. So I've got to generate lead magnet button. So I'm going to go ahead and click. Oh, this is even better than what I thought it would do. I thought it was just going to rush off and create a landing page, and then we wouldn't necessarily have any control over it. This is much better. It's done it better than I was thinking. Okay, so it is. Oh, this is much better. It has filled it in, but I can change these around to change the copy before I generate. That is really cool. So I'm going to go ahead. It says generate. Oh, so if I click this, it can it uses my lead magnet information to generate this. Okay, that's cool. And then create landing page. Does that work? Preview. God damn. Okay, I mean, it's very basic looking, but that worked. So let me put in my email address. So do Kyle plus gmail.com, for example. So we've sent, okay, so it shouldn't be sending it. It should be doing the thank you page. That hasn't been set up yet. That's fine. But now let's go back and see if conversion total views, 1. Conversions 1, because I've finished out, the conversion rate is 100%, and then recent leads, it has it here. Damn, man, sometimes these tools are amazing when they just kind of work. So, and then hopefully, right, what we need to do, we don't want to generate again, so we're going to need to create a dashboard for the actual pages. That doesn't exist right now, but that's fine. That's something we can create. Awesome, that worked. So I need to go to boxing. I've only got half an hour to go there, and it is the end of the live stream. I really want to keep working on this. But no, the promise is it's 1 hour per day, only 1 hour per day. That's so annoying. So I'm not going to continue working on this. I will continue working on it tomorrow. So tomorrow I've got live streams at around 9 AM for the news and updates of the day, and then 10 AM for the vibe coding live stream, roughly. I'm a bit tardy sometimes, like I was today. And you can find all of this, all of the recordings, all of the clips, etc. over on YouTube. We just crossed 4,000 subscribers on YouTube, so thank you guys for the support. It's been very slow going, especially compared to TikTok, which is 140 40,000 or something. So YouTube is a different beast and it's very slow. So thank you for your support over there. And also there is a daily newsletter which comes out every single day with the AI news and updates, plus kind of tips and tricks about how to use ChatGPT. That is free. That's available in the link in my bio. And I'll be back tomorrow to continue building out the landing page functionality. I'm really excited about this, and the fact that that just worked and it got one-shotted. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's a good feeling. It feels real good. But I am not going to continue because we're doing 1 hour a day to show you at home that this is possible. This is something that you can do, and it doesn't require you to kind of lock in and work on it for 8 hours, which I want to do right now, but I'm not going to do. Cool. Thank you guys, and I will see you tomorrow for the other live streams, and we'll continue building out the landing page generator, which is really cool.